Hi, I'm Molly. I'm a designer at Superbloom. I'm here to share some design theory with you. If that seems like something that's only applicable if you're doing design in an academic context, it's not. That's why I chose to make a video out of it. I think this set of tools is useful to a way wider group of people than the people who usually come in contact with it. So first of all, you may be more of a designer than you're currently defining yourself as. This is Herbert Simon, author of Sciences of the Artificial. His definition of design is that everyone designs who devises courses of action aimed at changing existing situations to preferred ones. That covers a lot of human endeavor. Next, let's hear from Donald Schoen, also a design engineer. He writes that design is a reflective conversation with the materials of a design solution. Just because the materials you are working with are not color, typography, or physical material doesn't mean that you're not having a reflective conversation with the materials of data structures, code, maybe meetings and relationships. Basically, design is making processes better for people using materials. That's why I'm going to introduce this design theory concept of affordances. To illustrate that, we'll use a common household object, this barbecue grill lighter. You know what to do with this, and that is because the shape of the handle and the shape of this trigger, the placement of this hole, tells you to hold it in your hand, pull this back, and make a flame. These are called signifiers. A signifier is a feature that illustrates a perceived affordance. And the perceived affordance is the thing that you are supposed to do with the object, the intended use of it. There are other affordances besides the perceived affordance would be hitting, waving it around in the air. For babies and small children, an affordance, a perceived affordance indeed, could be sticking it in their mouths. So here are our main signifiers that point to the perceived affordance that the designers put into this barbecue. So affordances determine what people could possibly do, perceived affordances determine what people will probably do, and signifiers are a tool you can use to create perceived affordances. We do this all the time when designing technology, whether we're thinking about feature sets as a whole, what people are allowed to do when, what we want people to do, what we don't want people to do, where we want to steer people, where we want to create friction between what people might want to do and what we would prefer that they do. I'm going to talk about this in the context of security here. Privacy and security is trying to modify my system settings. There's a little bit of friction here that I have to now approve it with Apple Watch or enter my password, but there's also this handy perceived affordance with the big blue button so that this becomes relatively easy for me to do. This was carefully designed so that it's easy but not too easy. Here the designers have really removed the affordance of continuing to the website. You can click on advanced and continue to the website, but it's not clear from this interface that that is even something you can do, is keep going. So here they've decided to signify very strongly that you're just not even supposed to do whatever you wanted to do going to this website. So the practical way you can use these concepts of signifiers, affordances, and perceived affordances, first think, what do you want people to do? And then add signifiers that point to that. Then you want to go a step further and think, what are all the actions people might take? Are they all basically safe and sensible? Like, what are all of the affordances? And then you can remove some of the ones you think are more likely if you think it's necessary to remove them. You can also just remove some of the signifiers to make them a little less perceived and a little more discoverable affordances for people who really need them. The good actions should be easy, and the not so good actions should be harder. Well, I hope this sparked something. Sorry, not that sorry. And that these concepts end up being useful to you.